everyone! So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how I blend out my eyeshadows. So I always get a lot of people asking me, like, how do you get such a flawless looking smoky eye? Like, how do you get your eyeshadows to blend out so nicely? Now me, I am my own worst critic, so I don't think my blending is like the best or even remotely near the best. I think I'm pretty good and I'm still learning every day, but I do think my blending skills are pretty good. Not the best, like I said, not the best, but pretty good. So in this video, I'm going to show you guys my tips, my tricks, what I do, the steps I take in order to achieve this eyeshadow look. So if you guys want to see how to get this smoky eye, then keep on watching. Okay, so before I jump into the eyeshadow tutorial, I want to first show you guys what brushes and what palette I'm using today. So two of my favorite brushes that I use to blend out eyeshadows are this Luxie 237 blending brush and then this BH Cosmetics 101 blending brush. These are my two absolute favorite blending brushes. The two palettes I'm using today is the Naked palette and then the It's Judy Time palette with Pixie. From the It's Judy Time palette, I'm actually only using one color. I'm using the really dark brown color down here. I'm using that to deepen out the outer corner of my eye. And then the colors that I'm using from the Naked palette are Naked, right here, Naked, Buck, and then I use Half Baked to put that pop of gold. So the first thing I do before I apply any eyeshadow, I do this every single time, is I put on an eyeshadow base. I have been using the NYX eyeshadow base. This is in Skin Tone. I just get any concealer brush that I have, I apply some of that eyeshadow base to the concealer brush, and then I just make sure I get a nice even layer of product all over my eyelid. The next thing I do is I'm going to set this eyeshadow base. You can set your eyeshadow base with a translucent powder, or you can use an eyeshadow that is close to your skin tone. So I'm going to use the shade Naked from the Naked palette. I'm going to use that and sweep it all over my eyelid. Now it really doesn't matter what brush you use for this part, as long as you get a nice even layer of this all over that eyeshadow base. Setting your eyeshadow base is going to help your colors blend together a lot more seamlessly. If you just have eyeshadow base down, it's really sticky. Now the whole point of eyeshadow base is to have a sticky base so your eyeshadows stick to. Yes, that's true. But you don't want it too sticky because you don't want any of those shades to get stuck in one spot and then harder for you to blend it out and make it look seamless. So when I want to do a smoky eye like I have now, I go from lightest to dark when I'm trying to blend out this part of my eye. So I have Naked on, that's the lightest shade I have, that's Naked right here. The next shade I'm going to go in is with Buck. That's the second darkest shade I'm going to use on my eyelid. So now I'm going to use the smaller blending brush. This is the Luxie brush. I'm going to get a little bit of product on here, and then I'm going to softly, very softly start applying this where I want it. And I always start off with a little bit of product. It's easier to build up than to try and erase after the fact. I'm going to go back now with the fluffy brush here, and I'm going to get Naked again, the lighter color. And now I'm going to blend this out right here. When I'm trying to blend out my eyeshadows, it's going back and forth a lot. I'm constantly going in with the darker color, then going back with the lighter shade with the other brush. I'm always trying to keep the brushes separate for the most part on what colors I'm picking up, and going back and blending. It's a lot of back and forth until I get it exactly right. I'm going to go in with Buck one more time. I guess I kind of like place it, and then I'll go in and do the windshield wiper sweep back and forth motion. But I'm not pushing hard at all on my skin. It's a very light touch. Once I feel like that's pretty blended out for now, I'm going to go in with the darkest shade from the It's Judy Time palette. I'm going to grab just a tiny bit of product, and always make sure you tap off the excess You don't want to have any fallout, especially when you start to go into really dark shades. And now I'm just going to press this where I want it. And that's just going to be right here, very low in the outer crease. To blend out this harsh line that I'm starting to create there, I'm going back in with the smaller blending brush. I'm grabbing a little bit of Buck, the second darkest shade that I'm using, and then I'm going to blend out that line. And again, it's a very soft touch. It's not hard at all. I can kind of see a harsh line right there. So I'm going to grab it Naked and I'm going to try and blend that out. I feel that looks pretty good so far. I'm going to apply the gold color, and then if I feel like I need a little bit more work anywhere, I'll come back and touch up if I need to. To get the gold to pop, I'm going to get a little bit of the eyeshadow base back on my concealer brush, just a tiny bit, and I'm going to go right where I want the gold. I'm just going to apply a little bit of that eyeshadow base right here. The gold I'm using is Half Baked from the Naked palette. I pack that onto my brush and then I just press that color in. So as I was putting on the gold, I can see here that I have a harsh line. So I'm going to go in with the Luxie brush. I'm going to get some Naked, blend out this line here. It's always going back and forth with me when I'm blending out my eyeshadows. It's never just like, put a color here, do this, and you're done. I'm always going back and forth to make sure that they're even, to make sure that they're blended nicely. So I think this looks pretty good. I know it looks weird now, but another thing when it comes to having a really nice smoky eye is to have a completed eye. So if you just want to do eyeshadow and you think it looks funny because you stopped here, it's because you don't have mascara on, you don't have eyeliner on, you don't have a completed look. A lot of people are always like, well, I did this, how does it look? And it's just eyeshadow. I'm like, well, if you put eyeliner on, if you put eyelashes on, mascara, and do like the whole eye, it'll all come together. That's when you are like, oh, now I see the vision. Because if I left it like this, yeah, it's, you know, it's wearable, it's pretty, but once you see it with eyeliner and lashes, that's when you're like, ooh, that's nice. So here is the look with eyelashes and eyeliner so far. I'm going to do the bottom part of my eye now. I'm going to go in with this little pencil brush, a 105 brush from BH Cosmetics. I'm going to go in first with Buck this time. I'm just going to sweep this from the outer corner till about 3/4 of the way in. I'm going to go in with Dark Chocolate from the It's Judy Time palette. I'm going to use the same brush and I'm just going to go on the outer part of my under eye, just right out here, just like that. Then the same brush that I used to pack on that gold, I'm going to grab that brush, get more of that gold. It's called Half Baked. I'm going to get Half Baked, and then I'm going to go on the inner part under and apply Half Baked right there. I'm going to apply a little bit of mascara. So that's it, that's the look. This is how I get my eyeshadows blended. Something I did want to mention is if you can have a couple of blending brushes like me, I use these two brushes to blend out. It would be ideal so that you're not constantly dipping the same brush in all of these different colors. So now I know a lot of people don't have access to brushes and stuff, and you might only have one blending brush. So what I suggest is every time you dip into a new eyeshadow, or before you dip into a new eyeshadow, you have a napkin and you clean it off before you go into that eyeshadow. I always have a napkin and I'm constantly cleaning off my brush. I'm doing this every single time before I dip into a new color. Even when I have so many brushes around, I'm still doing it, it's just habit. But that's just a tip I can pass along to you guys. If you only have one blending brush and that's all you have to work with, at least try to clean off your brush before you go into another shadow. It's going to keep your shadows from all blending together and looking really muddy. You want to keep them separated, the shadows separated. That's how you get a gradient. That's how you get that blended look. But that's it for this look. If you have any other questions, then leave a comment down below. If not, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.